Welcome back to CubeCon 2023. I'm Justin Parnell.
I'm David McDarby.
And we are here to bring you round 2 of the Cheese Stands Alone tournament, which is featuring the Live the Dream Cube. And this is your cube.
That's correct.
And we are able to watch these people try to pull off the dream of their choice.
Yes, so we saw in the last round, if you weren't here with us, thank you for joining us now. We saw Zach Hill have some mana creatures get out Paradox Zone.
It was looking great for Zach.
It was looking so good.
Good.
Reed had, 8 mana, nothing on the board really. Untapped, cast an Auron's Epiphany that was foretold, then cast Lutri. Time stretch, 4 birds, Elish Norn, Grand Cinemite, attack you for 12, 2 times in a row. You're dead.
Yeah, it turned very quickly.
Yep.
I think there were about, of the people that I am familiar with watching that match, including myself, yourself, Zach, and Reed, 3 people were very surprised.
Who was not surprised?
Reed seemed to not be surprised. Reed, as usual, calm and cool.
And collected.
But no company. Was able to defeat Zach in 2 and is going to move on to the second round of the Cheese Stands Alone. And the winner of this event is going to get a laser-cut CubeCon exclusive charcuterie board and a unsafe amount of cheese.
Unsafe. A lot of cheese. Like, I would recommend sharing it with everybody who drafted the cube and everybody who covered the cube. I think he should share that cheese with.
Minimum.
Or the winner should. I was thinking Reed because, man, his hair is lovely. But, like, any of these players could win this cube. We're about to hit into round 2.
And we're not seeing Reed, even though Reed won. We're going to check out 2 other players. We're going to see Sky Warfield. And we're also going to see, someone that's been around a little while. That's going to be Bob Marr.
Bob Marr Jr.?
Yeah, he doesn't come often. But you know what? Cube lured him out to return to playing Magic under the bright lights now of CubeCon. Because obviously, what's better than Hall of Fame rings? Well, that's cheese.
That's cheese. We had a Hall of Famer last round. We have a Hall of Famer this round.
Yeah.
We got more to come at CubeCon, but right now we're going to head down to check out Sky Warfield and Bob Marr Jr. playing in the Cheese Stands Alone tournament for cheese, but really the Live the Dream Cube is all about living dreams.
Right, and that's what they're going to be trying to do. Sky and Bob both won their first round matchups, and I was only able to get a little bit, but Bob is going to be on the play starting off with potentially a Spar headquarters and a Rafid's Tower?
You got it.
Oh,
you got it. You got the triomes.
Okay, and then we have a Stomping Ground from Bob. So this is a traditional start for the Live the Dream Cube.
This is traditional. We have a basic land on turn 2, which is okay, but normally you just see lots of triomes, lots of dual lands and stuff because decks in this format, in this cube, are lots of colors, lots of mana acceleration, all kinds of cool things.
Sky's got multiple basic lands in their hand, so I think this is part of the plan of playing untapped lands, which can be very powerful because, there's a lot of tapped lands in this cube.
Yep, there are. And so Bob will be playing a Thief of Sanity. So this is a kind of a card called a Hypnotic Spectre, but kind of the opposite. Instead of them going down a card, you go up one of their cards.
Well, they go down 2 into their graveyard.
That's true. Yeah, so here we have...
But instead, we're going to have Legions to Ash, just get rid of this completely to exile.
Yes.
That's going to be gone.
And any other copies of Nightmare Spectre, of Thief of Sanity that were out there, they'd be gone too.
Great thing about Cube, not the case.
Not here, but
you
never know.
And that looks like a Bloodbraid Elf.
Some people's dream is just casting this card.
It has been my dream many, many times. And we are going past, we see a Vizier of Tumbling Sands. One of the most unique mana-efficient, mana-making creatures because you can untap lands.
You can indeed. So, so there's the Vizier. It kind of looks unassuming at first. It's a 1/3 for 3, a common here with, all these mythic rares and bombastic cards, but it adds mana. It untaps lands, so maybe you have a mana that makes 2 mana.
Maybe you have a Mirari's Wake.
Maybe you have an empowered auto-generator, a very common card that I'm sure everybody knows exactly what it does.
Right. So Sky looking at their options here to try to put something on the board, wisely using that removal spell last turn because Thief of Sanity can start to get out of control very quickly. And we're going to see an X spell, but it's also going to be a battle.
Yes.
And the only combination of that card that matches is what?
Invasion of New Phyrexia.
Right.
It is the culmination story, a battle of the entire March of Machine set. So this is going to come in with 6 defense counters, and then we'll make 2 blue and white night creature tokens with Vigilance. So that's going to hold the fort down, trade with the Bloodbraid Elf, and then maybe, just maybe, Teferi will make an appearance.
And that's only if Sky's able to get rid of those 6 defense counters off of the invasion. But you know what? Even for 4, putting two vigilant creatures onto the battlefield against a Bloodbraid Elf, probably pretty good.
Yeah, that's basically something that trades with Bloodbraid Elf, and then the Cascade, Sky, they kind of cascaded as well into another 2/2 Vigilance.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. A lot of mid-range magic. I love it.
Yeah, how often do you think Bloodbraid Elf has cascaded into Vizier of Tumbling Sands in the history of the game?
At least once.
At least once, and here you're
and
seeing
we saw it first time.
First time here at CubeCon, at GameholeCon, Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you for joining us. So, Bob Maher is still thinking about what to do on his turn. Swings in for 3.
And, yeah, I think we're going to see a block here,
Yeah, that makes sense. The Teferi Kosa of Zalfir, that is a dream to have that Planeswalker on the board. But I bet Sky, they have other plans up their sleeves to see what's coming on next.
You could cast the invasion and put your dream on suspend.
That's
small S, not big S.
That's true. Here is Warcrafting does remove defense counters.
Yeah, sure, as noted. And we're going to see a rise, not fall.
Not fall, just rise. So rise is one half of that rise fall split card. It's a raise dead and unsummon for blue-black. Which is beautiful.
Unsummon quite powerful against tokens. And we're going to see the 2/2 be bounced back to hand. And as soon as Glare becomes our friend, we will identify. Is this a Kadama's Reach?
It is indeed.
Okay, all right.
Kind of like Cultivate, but it's got spirit,
It does have spirit, and this is an excellent ramp spell. Not only ramping, but fixing your mana. Critical in this cube as you're venturing into 3 and 4 colors for many, many decks.
True, and we see Bamar has, I think, every color in play right now, just as Keranos would will it to be. So Bob is ready to cast any card in his deck that he basically wants to next turn.
I pray to Erebos myself.
Well, sure, that makes sense, knowing you.
Right.
Yeah.
Keranos for you. Got it.
Of course,
Just
yeah.
want to make sure
we got
where we stand.
Yep, so here we have a Minter of the Meek. So this is rather unassuming, but it does draw cards when you play the little creatures that kind of mess up your opponent or do a little disruption. You can just, cantrip them and draw a card.
And Sky dropping a bounce land, which would be quite powerful with that Vizier if they had it under their control, but instead Bob has it on his side of the board.
Orja Basilica, representing the Church of Deals here from Ravnica. So looks like Sky's fully in the Esper territory. Meanwhile, Bob is, every color of the wind.
Right, and which is going to give him a lot of options. And Bob in the tank, saying this is a critical turn. I'm going to have to do. I have the opportunity to essentially play any card in my deck.
And most of the cards in this cube are not 2/1s for 2. So we're really, there's a lot of ground to cover to figure out where you want to go.
Right, and also a lot of ground to cover for us to figure out what he could possibly cast. Because it could be anything.
Anything in the cube. Just look at this board state. Isn't it? The world is Bob's oyster right now.
Yeah, truly.
I wish I could be him, just only to play this game of Magic together.
Yeah, I would really love if Bob had his own battle. Invasion of Alara. That's what I would love to see here right now.
I'm more of a Garth One-Eyed man myself. I just love casting Black Lotus. You know how it is.
I just like the concept of being able to have Bloodbraid Elf, but also cascade into it. Cascade.
So what if you cast 2 creatures, Hidetsugu and Kaidi?
Well, they're combined into 1 creature.
They're friends. So here, Bob will essentially brainstorm, and I think that was a Maelstrom Wonder, I believe, and a Wildfire Devil. So Jin-Gitaxias. So he's got Jin-Gitaxias, Maelstrom Wonder, and some other cards. So he's going to put
Jin-Gitaxias
on top of the 1/3 for 2 mana, which is kind of like a 2/1. So here, if Hidetsugu and Kairi do end up dying, Bob will be able to cast that Jin-Gitaxias for free, and Sky would lose 5 life.
That's not what you want.
That's not what you want.
That's not what you want.
Here we have, maybe that's Cultivate. You would think I would know, being the designer of the cube, but there's a lot of cards out there, but I'm pretty sure it's a Cultivate now.
A lot of different versions of a lot of different cards, and you're going for maximum cool factor.
I am.
Doesn't help, past David McDarby did not help future David McDarby thinking about doing this in coverage.
Yeah, that guy, what was he thinking?
Yeah, but you know what? The people down there are definitely enjoying all of the different versions of these cards. And I know I do when I play this game.
That's what it's about at CubeCon. It's not about readability, it's about having a good time.
So, really, an excellent follow-up to the Hidetsugu and Kairi, because that's Brainstorm plus a Shuffle.
Shuffle effect.
And honestly, it's very appropriate. You have a 5-mana Brainstorm with a 3-mana Shuffle. Slightly more mana-intensive than the general 1-mana Brainstorm and a Fetch land to Shuffle, but, it's appropriate for Live.
Here we're spinning the wheel. Drown and Ecor spin Prismari command. So Sky will lose 3 life, but Bob will be able to cast his card for free. I'm assuming shocking the Mentor of the Meek and
make a treasure.
Perhaps make a treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this cube, it's got a few nicknames. We got a reader cube, shiny foil can't read on coverage cube. Also, spin the wheel cube is a common one, and we got to see some wheel spinning right here, right now.
Bob spun the wheel a couple of times with Cascade, spinning it with a random effect.
Spinning it to winning it.
You know, and honestly, considering what could have potentially happened, and we're not actually seeing a treasure, we're seeing a loot, drawing 2 and then discarding 2.
A double loot.
A double loot.
Yeah, that's the blue portion of the card, because red can't do that.
If I'm Sky, I actually feel pretty good about that exchange, to be honest. I know we kind of got a little 2-for-1 action, but Hidetsugu and Kyrie is going to do that to you no matter what, so being able to pick it off with a 2-mana removal spell, leave some of your more premium cards in your hand, and only taking 3 is pretty good. But you know what's not really good?
When your opponent casts Maelstrom Wonder?
Yeah, it feels bad. Feels bad.
Yep, so here we have Maelstrom Wonder, the 8-mana teamer, came out when the format formerly known as EDH became known as Commander.
Right.
And here we are, a gigantic 7/5. You get a Cascade twice. We saw 4 Cascades from a single card last round. So here we're seeing 2. So it's not quite as big, but this one gets in there the turn you play it.
Yeah, it also only costs 8 mana, which is a bit of a big deal.
Oh, and here we have Yarok. So Yarok is going to let Bob double up on any of his enter the battlefield triggers, but also it has lifelink, depth touch, and currently haste.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big problem. The bigger problem is the fact that I'm counting up the power of the creatures on Bob's board, and it equals
13?
approximate. I think it's 14.
Is it 14?
I believe it's 14, which is seems to be. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. We have a 3-power Yarok, a 2-power Nissa, a 7-power.
Yep.
And then a 1-power. That's 13.
Oh,
Right.
well,
1 life to live. Thank you for making sure you did the math right.
that's all you need is 1 life.
I'm sure Sky appreciates that you did it too, so
Yep.
they didn't have to go to 0. Instead, get 1 more turn
Yep.
to do something.
Well, here comes Nissa. She has her spark has ignited, and instead of creating Ashaya, the soul world awoken, they have Bob got the top card.
Right, as he often does. And I feel like Ashaya probably unnecessary, not really doing it.
Well,
Sky agrees, saying, you know what, let's try that one again. Let's try that one again. That was a pretty good thrashing. And
Yeah.
I feel like Sky drew a lot of basic lands,
Yes.
and that is not always where you want to be with the Live the Dream Cube.
Well, Bob had a pretty strong start of Thief of Sanity, which ate a removal spell. It's fine. We're all good. Bloodbraid Elf hit a ramp spell.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of what in this cube, Bloodbraid Elf isn't so much Blightning. There is Liliana the Veil, and there's Lightning Bolt. There's no Blightning. You'd rather have Bloodbraid actually hit a ramp spell like Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, Vizier of Tumbling Sands. So you can Bloodbraid Elf is less of an aggressive threat and more of a bridge you from the early game to the mid game while having a 3/2 that maybe can pressure Planeswalker or something.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed value engine,
Yes.
no matter what.
An engine. Well, it goes once, and then you're like, well, attack for 3.
Sometimes engines sputter out after one time. Okay, so
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the Cube isn't the only thing going on here at
not?
CubeCon. No, there's some panels, and you're actually in one of the panels tomorrow.
Yes, I'm in the Behind the Spellbook panel, which includes me and 4 of my other wonderful luminaries at Wizards of the Coast, and we'll be talking all things about Magic, especially as it relates to Cube, and kind of see like what do we think about Cube on the inside.
Right, and that's pretty awesome. We even have another panel on Saturday, but we have a sponsor for CubeCon University, which is what we are calling these panels.
Yes.
And that's Card Castle. It's our exclusive sponsor for CubeCon University, and they are the premier collection management platform for Magic players and collectors. You're both of those.
Players and collectors.
Well, did you know that you can merge the physical and digital realms by wielding your smartphone? You got it
There it is.
right
Here it
there
is. Omniscience. There it is.
to effortlessly scan your cards and create a digital catalog of your collection, accessible in your browser or right there on your phone.
Oh,
you can stay
nice.
on top of card prices or even manage your cube.
Cube?
You'd like that.
Yeah. You had me at Cube. You also had me at our exclusive sponsor for CubeCon.
And it certainly is.
Which is Card
our
Castle.
exclusive sponsor for CubeCon University.
University.
CubeCon University, which is our panels. You can free your mind from the chaos and clutter of your collection, join thousands of Magic players organizing their cards with Card Castle.
I imagine that's a really big help when you have as many cards as we probably do.
We have at least 540.
That's true.
And probably a little more than that because we need lands.
Maybe. You need basics.
But that's tough to manage.
Can I-
And you could just manage that. You could manage that with Card Castle.
Can I log my number of basics I have with Card Castle too?
I bet you can. I'm
Okay.
almost sure of it.
I'm in then.
All right.
I'm
great.
in.
Great. And our players are going to be gearing up for the game 2 of round 2.
As they attempt to be the cheese who stands alone.
Yeah, and we have some work. Sky's got some work to do. They're on the back foot, but going first can be powerful. I mean, that was Bob's deck lined up pretty well to do exactly what you really want to be doing. We saw ramp and cascade, and that was it. The whole thing.
Sometimes that's all you need.
It was moments ago. It was all he needed. Sky going to start with a Triumph on their side of the board, followed up by a Plains. We've seen this start before. It didn't work out last time, but now that I think that they know what Bob is up to, I would imagine that maybe a plan has developed.
Yeah, so we saw Sky last game have the Eternal Wanderer in their hand, and that's an extremely powerful Planeswalker, perhaps the most powerful in this entire cube. And I believe they have it in their hand again for this round. And once they deploy the Eternal Wanderer, and Bob can't take it off the board, the game might just be over.
It is one of those Planeswalkers. It's so efficient. Its plus and minuses. The numbers are so small, which means you can really manage it in a variety of different ways in so many different board states. And it's probably gonna. I'm probably gonna take this Nissa out with potentially trading with a blocker.
Yeah. So Sky,
when we get to 6 mana.
Yeah. So Sky is going to pass, and let's see if they have some instant speed interaction. There are a few counter spells in this cube. They all cost at least 4 mana, because like when you're casting a 9 mana spell, you don't really want it to get Force Spiked or Mana Leaked or something. And here we have the Wandering Emperor.
Wandering Emperor. We got both.
We have
Sky has both.
Sky has both of the typeless Planeswalker in their deck. So this card is, if you've played any other format of Magic, or if you've also played Cube, you've probably seen this card a lot of places.
I have.
Yes. So there's a lot of things, like you were saying, Justin, because this is the Planeswalker you were talking about the entire time.
It was.
And Nissa is going to be exiled, and Sky's moving up to 22 life.
I think that's smart. Rather than trying to make a blocker in instant speed, because something could go wrong.
Something could terribly go wrong, and then you're up a creek.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And Bob's looking at some cards with a Hideaway for Windbrisk Heights. He spies a Planeswalker of his very own in the form of Jace the Mind Sculptor.
I've heard of that card, and I've heard that it's better than all. We're going to see that it's not necessarily better than the card that was chosen.
That's correct. So Bob will need to attack with 3 creatures, and then he'll be able to flip that Windbrisk Heights and cast that card that is better than all and better than Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Right.
So, which, you might say, well, isn't Bob playing kind of a big, control-y, like, ramp deck? Well, sure, but we saw Maelstrom Wonder hit some couple Cascade creatures, attack for 3.
I saw Bob cast 1 card and attack with 3 creatures last time.
That's really powerful.
That's a dream to be lived.
Yep.
Now we have the slow control of the Wandering Emperor. Bob does not know that the Eternal Wanderer is going to be coming down very shortly. And, I mean, Jin-Gitaxias.
Full name, full stop. We're done here. So Jin-Gitaxias is a 5-mana blue creature. It's a 5/5, 5/5 for 5. That's how they write the book. But anytime Bob casts kind of a big spell, he'll get to draw a card. And then, if Bob somehow has 7 cards in his hand, he can pay some mana and then achieve the Great Synthesius, I believe.
Synthesius? Okay, that's how they say it on the streets.
Don't quote me on that. But it is a strong card, again, from 1. And we'll see if Sky is going to deploy her own card from Mom. So here we have the Invasion of Fiora.
Love it.
Yep, where Dak Faden came from.
We
are the multiverse.
Well, looks like we were going to see a March of the Machine cards no matter what. Yes. It looks like it was the Invasion of Fiora versus Eternal Wanderer, and I think just go ahead and clear up the board.
Yep, I believe Sky destroyed all legendary creatures and maybe all non-legendary creatures
just too. Flex, I would.
Who knows? I mean, I would.
Got to pick them all.
You gotta.
Yeah, you got to do it.
You gotta. So Fiora destroyed Jin-Gitaxias. They tried invading the multiverse, didn't work out so well for them.
No, absolutely.
That's how it goes.
And now we have a Vigilant 2/2 from that Wandering Emperor.
And Bob just says go. So Bob either doesn't have the right colors because he's missing black mana, or has an instant speed trick on Sky's turn.
I mean, black is the most powerful color of mana, which everyone in the whole world can agree with.
I believe you believe that.
Yep. And we're seeing a tale of 2 games here.
Yes.
I believe we were now seeing Sky.
Oh.
Oof,
Oh.
boy.
Okay.
All right, that is a Breach the Multiverse. Man, we are March of the Machines is showing out in this game.
It really is. We're playing Mars of the Machines limited right now, but just with the good cards. So here, Sky is going to move. Each player will mill 10 cards, and Sky will get to choose a creature or planeswalker from each graveyard. It didn't even have to be one of the milled ones. It could be Jigataxis.
Just whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Also, they're Phyrexian in addition to their other types. I know you were wondering. You were making sure.
I was.
So I want to clear that up for you. So,
yeah, in case it comes up. You never know.
You never know. So here we're going to check out the cards. AC, we have there. Thief of Sanity and Jigataxia. So it looks like it just might be AC or Jigataxia.
Well, but let's see what Sky's working with over here.
Yeah.
Let's see what Sky's working with.
Sky's
working with a Fallen Shinobi, which is quite powerful. It says, you know what? I could take one of your cards, but I'll take one of mine first, and then later I'll take yours.
Yeah. So Sky does choose AC, the Tire Giant straight. Basically, Sky will be able to play an extra land each turn, and then whenever they play a land, draw a card. Looks like they do not have any lands in their hand. That's all right. The turn was still pretty impressive nonetheless.
Right. Yeah, I think we can call that a successful turn. And now, in this cube, we know we can see amazing, incredible comebacks from a position of nothing.
True.
But Bob truly is working with nothing.
Yep, so Bob played his 7th land and said, pass the turn.
Right, and I don't believe that is the plan. Sky says that might not be the plan for you, but it's the plan for me, and I'm not going to stop this beatdown that I have. I would imagine we didn't see a sweeper. So do we think we're going to turn this Invasion of Fiora into a Marchesa? Sky says yes.
Yes. I would imagine that to be true. So, yes, so Marchesa, Resolute Monarch, will make an appearance. Long may she reign. This is a card. Long may she reign. This is a card that, it just does a bunch of stuff. Sky's board is truly getting outrageous, and there's so much going on here. So now Fallen Shinobi is going to find some goodies. There's Marchesa. And Sky has hit some spells. I'm not sure what, but they weren't lands. So
Bob's saying, I'm going to take a draw and then see if we can go to the next game. This is the body language.
Yeah.
This is the body language I see over here.
Yeah.
And Sky's like, oh, all right. Oh, that sounds good. Let me cast some more spells just to try to drive it in further.
Yeah, so like now Sky's kind of getting some reconnaissance going on.
Yeah,
seeing what your deck's about.
Yeah, before you concede, let me just see what we have going on.
Yeah,
here.
let me see more. Let me see your secrets. Why are you hiding them? Give them to me.
Yeah.
But you know what? You can go. You can go ahead and go.
All right. Bob rubbing that one on the table. We have the Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, a good one.
Yeah.
Not good without black mana.
And it needs not just one black mana.
But two.
But two.
All right. We are at 8, so we are going to see this Maelstrom Wander that's been hiding in Bob's hand.
It's got a lot of work to do.
It does have a lot of work to do, but it's one of the cards that can do a lot of work.
You want to hit 2 7-drops right here, right now.
That's a Cultivate, or excuse me, Kadama's Reach.
You're excused. Okay, we'll look. It says, does Bob have basics in his deck?
Bob
does not
have
like
any cards in his deck in general.
Well, the Multiverse was breached, and the Shinobis did fall, so there are not a lot of cards, and the Insight was siphoned.
This guy's like, yeah, let's see. That's a Yarok.
Yarok.
You know what? I mean, that has lifelink.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I also don't believe that Bob is at 20.
Yeah, that's all right.
I think it's probably about half of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we can assume that Bob is at 10. Marchesa is a very, very menacing. And that's not good when...
it has Death Touch as well.
Yeah. So would you like to trade both of your creatures with Marchesa? No? Yeah, I didn't think so. What are we picking up?
We picked up another battle, an invasion. But first we're going to Council's Judgment.
I'll select... I don't know, Yarok. Would you like to select anything? You can select ending the game.
So game 1, Sky, we were kind of doing a March of the Machines kind of. This was more of a conspiracy match because we had Council's Judgment, we had Marchesa, we had so many different things from that set as Sky just kind of did their thing and cast a lot of good spells. And, the saddest part about the game is Maelstrom Wonder was on D.
Not even.
Didn't
even get a chance.
Didn't even get there. But every time Maelstrom Wonder is cast and doesn't attack, an angel loses its wings.
It's true. And this time, Bob lost his life.
He only has 1 toughness.
That's true. And, well, fortunately, let's see if that toughness is taken down to 0 because we're in Game 3, and we've seen Game 1, domination. Mm-hmm. Game 2, domination. Both of these decks showing out. So we now know what both of these decks are capable of. Sky really has... I mean, all of the black and white cards we saw is the power level of the cards they cast this time are through the roof.
Yes.
Where Bob is saying, I'm going to take a sampling of every color.
Yeah, a little like perhaps maybe you had a bunch of cheese to offer and you want a one bite of every cheese.
Yeah.
Sky's like, give me that Gouda.
Yeah, I want that.
I want that Gouda. Just the Gouda. Just the Gouda stuff.
I really love that at the very end, the last card that Bob drew before dying was Nicol Bolas Planeswalker with no black. Access to 0 black.
Yeah, that is a common that can happen to Live the Dream Cube.
Yeah.
That can happen, especially when you get 10 cards milled and then your inside gets siphoned and your Shinobis get fallen. Sometimes you just run out of cards. There are not many cards in the cube that mill a lot. There are a couple. Invasion is the biggest one.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. So black generally has
Behold the multiverse.
Behold.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's fine too. So Sky's game plan, they're kind of like on battles. They want to battle. So play some planeswalkers, play some removal spells, attack my battle, get my battle person, and then go to town. Bob Maher Jr. is on a cultivate. It's Nicol Bolas plan.
Yeah.
That's kind of
the two schools of thought.
The two schools of thought.
Yeah.
So we saw that last game. Bob didn't play anything on turn 6, I don't think, or even 7.
Or 7, both.
So you just can't do that in this cube. You don't have time to. Some cubes you could like play some creatures early on and then maybe ride them to victory. Not in this cube. The game starts on turn 3 in this cube.
Right, and we're seeing opening hands here. I see a lot. We have the Maelstrom Wanderer back in Bob's hand.
And Nicol Bolas Planeswalker. That's right where you want them, in your hand, opening hand.
I know. So talking to Sky earlier, they love to make tokens. I love to make tokens too. So they went into this draft saying, I want to try to get a lot of the best token-making cards, and I think we saw a lot of them in that last game. And that Rafine's Tower is very consistent for Sky. Best turn 1 play in their deck, and they've nailed it.
If I could choose a companion, I might choose Rafine's Tower.
That's not a bad choice.
Bob Maher Jr. Played the first rare I ever opened in the game, Lotus Cobra.
That is a good one to start with.
I was not impressed. I thought it was pretty lame.
Oh, man. See, and I understand, because you know what mine was?
What?
A card that's not in anyone's cube here. Might of Oaks.
Might of Oaks.
And I was really impressed.
Did they guess where you were going to plant this?
Anyway, we
have
Black Sun's Twilight taking out the 1 toughness of that Lotus Cobra before deploying a Nissa Vastwood Seer, picking up a forest to go into Bob's hand.
Yeah, so Twilight, Black Sun's Twilight is a good example of a removal spell with a dream.
Yeah.
Like a lot of cubes, Doomblade, Terror, because I'm sure there are tons of cubes with those cards in them here. But they kill a creature and we're done. End of story.
Yeah.
Black Sun's Twilight has a lot more dream that it can live. But it did the dream of killing Lotus Cobra. And here Sky follows up with Drown and Ecor. On the Nissa, another removal spell that maybe has a dream to live. What if you had a Planeswalker 1 away from ultimate? You remove their creature, then you ultimate a turn ahead of schedule.
That's
a dream.
Rough. Yeah.
That's a dream.
That's going to be rough for your opponent.
Right.
And Sky was able to deploy a 2-drop along with the tapped land, which is really just excellent. Bob's taking 2 from this breeding pool to be able to cast a growth spiral, hopefully to get on his ramp plan, which is obviously critical to his deck. We have another land coming out. Not an additional. I know that it was an additional because we played the breeding pool untapped. Yep. All right. 4 mana. This guy's taking a look. Is that a Gante?
That is Gante, the Lord of Luxury, has arrived. So a lot of words, but basically you get to impulse your opponent's deck. That's it.
I love it.
Yeah, no shuffling. Don't shuffle.
No, put these on the bottom.
Yeah.
Don't look at them.
So now Sky gets to not only does Sky get to get the best card of the top 4, but they get to prevent Bob from also having that card. Yeah. And in this cube, a lot of the games can go a long time. There's, you can see a lot of your deck. You have access to it. Removing a deck of its threats is pretty pertinent here in the Live the Dream Cube.
And no matter what, even if Gante leaves the battlefield or dies or is exiled, you still have access to that card.
The Lord cannot be stopped.
No.
You can try.
Luxury can't be stopped, really.
Luxury can't. So we have the Thief of Sanity, also in the vein of, give me your thing.
Yeah, let me get that.
Let me get that.
Honestly seems like it fits more in Sky's deck, but Bob wants to take a little sample from everything.
It's a win Drake. They don't call it lose Drake.
That's right.
Yep.
And we're going to see Thief of Sanity for the second time in this match meet a Legion of Ashes, exiled, and all of its friends with the same name, which is 0. But, in case it brought some other friends to the party.
Yeah, so Sky definitely has the Doomblade strategy down pat as they are systematically removing Bob's threats 1 by 1. And here we have a Maze Mind Tome.
Maze Mind Tome really great in this position.
Yes, in these decks that want to 1v1 opponents, you need to recoup that card advantage somehow to have more gas in the tank, as it were.
Now, we know that that Sky is on a little bit of a timer because once we get to 8 mana, things will start going very, very badly. But we're at 6 right now, and maybe Bloodbraid Elf is going to hit some mana
We'll
ramp.
see. Can a miracle that. That's very sad. Yarok keeps on spinning. Joint exploration. You
well,
can kick.
You can
kick
kick it.
Are we kicking it?
Yes, we can.
Are we?
We can. I don't know if we are. Bob wisely left up green.
Green.
So has access to it.
Yeah, we're just checking right now that you can. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep, checking with the table judge to make sure, because, there are a lot of rules in Magic the Gathering, and we keep making more ones.
There are. And Cascade is a complicated one.
It is. It's a very fun one. Like, that Bloodbraid Elf has 2 words, Haze Cascade.
Yeah, two powerful words. 2 of the best keywords in all of Magic, you could argue.
It's kind of a baby Maelstrom Wonder when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because Maelstrom Wonder has 2 of the bottom word and basically mass haste of the top one.
Yeah, it's basically 2 Bloodbraid Elves just slapped together.
That's what blue does for you.
You mold it together with blue.
Well, blue, you copy it.
Right.
So you copy the Bloodbraid, you have it times 2.
I figured it out now.
That's how we do it. That's blue, what blue can do for you.
And as the song goes, can I kick it? Yes, you can. Are you? A different story.
Let's get these lands at the bottom.
Nope, no kicking.
No kicks. That's all right.
But we do have a Maelstrom Pulse and a Kodama's Reach. And there is a land in Bob's hand. We have a basic forest. Not going to help cast the Nicol Bolas, but if there's a land yet to be played, we can cast that Kodama's Reach, find a swamp, and be off to the races.
Oh, I like where your head's at.
Yeah. Now, I would imagine that we probably, if Sky has a dedicated 5-drop or a land and a 6-drop, might not see a scry, but I would imagine we are going to see a scry at the end of turn off of this Maze Mind Tome. But Bob's turn isn't done. 3 and going to Maelstrom Pulse this Gonti.
Get out of here, Gonti.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gonti was providing the beatdown. Got to take care of
it. Got to take it out. Now we can attack in through for 3 and get Sky down to 17.
Oh, that's still very much in play. Yeah, double check that one. No, you got that. You got that for good. Bob's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of words in Gonti.
Yeah, there's a lot of words in Gonti. Bob may have aimed it at the Gonti to try to get rid of that extra card. Yep. Yes, and that's the case, and they're gonna back up.
That's a wonderful. This is CubeCon.
It's CubeCon.
It's CubeCon.
Yeah,
like
cool. We're here for fun.
We're here to fun. We're here to have a good time. We're not here to not to. Undos are great. Like, that just tells you the spirit here at CubeCon and the players here at the Cheese Stands Alone event.
Yeah, and Sky was just like, yeah, no problem, move right through it. And you know what? I get some free information. You have a Maelstrom Pulse in your hand now.
That's true.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So that's great. You love to see it here.
Orzhov Signet? Is that what we got here?
That's what we have.
Love it.
Orzhov Signet.
And still 4 mana available. Gonti coming in to the red zone.
2 more.
Still providing the beatdown. And now Sky is going to start drawing with this Maze Mind Tome.
Mm-hmm. They're going to need it. I mean, they don't know, but Bob's got some heavy hitters coming down. But, Sky has the board presence, so we'll see what they can make of it once Bob starts deploying these threats.
We're still on 1 black, and I would imagine there's not an 8th land because if there was, I don't think we would have attacked and then played Maelstrom Wanderer post-combat. So instead we see Jenga Taxis.
Yep, back here, maybe Bob can play a large spell and draw a cantrip off that. But, passing it back to Sky as they draw a card, read a book, turn the page. Here we are.
Very good. Got a little bit smarter today, thanks to Maze Mind Tome.
Thank you, Tome.
All right. So what might we have? We're deploying a big one. Oh, this is
the Eternal Wanderer.
The Eternal Wanderer. We got so many Wanderers.
Yep. So
you're going to want to take a look at this one.
This one also has a lot of words. I mean, as we all know, the more words a card has, the better it is. So Time Stop, Endless Recall, Lightning Bolt, those cards, not into that.
Yeah.
We're into the Eternal Wanderer. So here we are. It's a Planeswalker. It makes 2/2s, like that character's other incarnation that came out recently. But instead of Vigilance, we have Double Strike. It's on. Yeah. We're not about blocking.
Yeah.
We're about attacking.
Nah, Double Strike. We got to get it done. We got a job to do, and we're gonna get that job done.
Yep. It also can blink creatures, and flicker them so that they get their ETBs again. But here we see Sky using the ultimate of the ability, and Sky then gets to choose 1 creature for each player to keep. Sky shows their 1 creature, has a play, and then left Bob with a paltry 3/2 Bloodbraid Elf.
Wow, I cannot believe that. But you know what? That's how it goes. If this is a land, this could look silly, but I don't believe that it was.
I think Bob found a card that finds 2 lands.
Not quite helpful.
Not helpful
quite helpful
turn.
this turn. Going to be helpful next turn. It's going to let you deploy that Nicol Bolas. And Nicol Bolas really excellent at destroying other planeswalkers.
Yes.
Hateful dude.
It also can sort of destroy creatures, and then it just let me get that.
Yeah, let me get that. I need to take control of it. We're going to serve in with our 1 Bloodbraid Elf at Eternal Wanderer, which I would imagine is going to meet a block. But instead we have an Orin Frostfang, which of course is going to give Death Touch. So are we going to see Gonti trade with Bloodbraid Elf? Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I would say so. Protect that Planeswalker. You know, Tales old as time in Magic the Gathering. You want to draw more cards on your opponent, and when you want to block your Planeswalkers.
Well, Sky's doing great at that.
I mean, that's why they're down there and I'm up here.
That's exactly right. All right, and we are going to see the 0 activation, and we're going to make a 2/2 double striking.
Double
striking, not just once, but twice. Now it's probably gonna service some blocks, but I also see an Elishnorn, I believe.
The Grand Cenobite, the large monk, some call her. Smaller than the other Elishnorn.
Doesn't Reed have Grand Cenobite?
Yes. So this one is Elishnorn, the Mother of Machines.
That's Mother of Machines. I thought Mother of Machines was. I don't know. It was tough to tell.
Yeah, well, Reed has, so that's the one Sky has, which is great with all these ETBs like Gonti and such. But they left other mana open. I believe they have the other depiction of that character that Sky has, the Planeswalker, in their hand.
Oh boy.
Oh, Jace the Mind Sculptor has made an appearance, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
And here,
are we brainstorming, or are we bouncing this token? And we're bouncing the token, man, which is gonna super not work out for Bob. And Sky's gonna say, yep.
Actually,
please
hold.
That's pretty good, but.
Here we have Pylon.
Pylon, okay.
Like a pylon, like a diamond.
Pylon.
Pylon. Yeah.
You must construct additional pylons.
Yeah, you must construct additional threats there, Bob Maher. So Sky is going to be surveilling 2, and Siphon Insight in the graveyard. That's value.
It is. Now I will say, Sky, and we know there's another Maelstrom Pulse we knew about. Sky could have. They're gonna draw a card, but they could have flashed back that Siphon Insight had they used Pylon to convoke, not convoke. Was it convoke?
Was it convoke? Yes, they could have convoke with
convoke, yeah.
Here we have a Polluted Delta.
Ooh, Polluted Delta. I love it.
People love that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty one. And then we're going to have a Council's Judgment.
It's time to vote.
I will vote for Jace the Mind Sculptor. How about you?
Bob said, well, according to the rules, I must also vote for Jace the Mind Sculptor. 2 votes for Jace.
Yeah.
0 against.
Can Bob just abstain? Be like,
no.
Do whatever you want, but I simply won't vote.
We are in Madison, Wisconsin, which turns out is in America.
Okay, this is the card I thought was Elishnorn. Is that Mondrak?
Mondrak.
It's not.
Yes.
Is it? Well, we're searching a land. Oh, that's because we polluted Delta. The previous card. All right, Mondrak.
Mondrak Glory Dominus.
Sky loves making tokens. Here we go.
So Mondrak's
they're getting into it.
If you make a token, you're gonna make another one of any kind. Treasure, clue, food, creatures.
We still have that secret Gonti card hanging out.
Oh, what is the Gonti card? It's a secret to everyone.
I don't know. But what I do know is Bob has missed on land number 8 many times, and things could start to pull away. If we see a token maker, gosh, what if we see a big ol' invasion of New Phyrexia? Ooh,
I mean, we also have a token maker in Sky's hand. They have the Wandering Emperor.
They do.
So that already makes 2 Vigilant tokens as it out. But also, Sky's a 4/4, and Bob's got a 1/3. So that's also a threat of itself. Don't forget, Sky can make Mondrak indestructible by sacking those 2 artifacts.
All right, we're seeing a 5-drop deployed, which it is. Oh my!
Baby.
I love it when a plan comes together. And let me tell you, this is what they wanted to do. They told me they were like, I should make tokens. How about 10 of them?
How about 10 2
How about 10 tokens?
How about 10 tokens?
All right, time is officially running out.
Yeah, time is not on Bob's side.
And now we're gonna attack here.
This guy's like, I'm gonna attack this invasion. Teferi, 4 steps closer.
Yeah, and that Teferi will come down and end the game if it can, because it helps Knights out so much.
Mm-hmm.
Now 10 of them can do the job on their own.
That's true.
So they don't exactly need one of the oldest planeswalkers around to do it. Bob found his 8th land, and I mean he's got to cast this Maelstrom Wanderer, but now he's going to pray to Erebos or Keranos or whatever.
Well, Keranos would make more sense, right? It's a team or creature.
Well,
I'm just saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you're wrong. That's all I'm saying. Yep. So Bob really needs some help here. Quite
a lot of help.
Kitetsugu and Kairi, that does block a 2/2.
Wow, that's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
You're right.
So now Bob can set up this second cascade with his brainstorm, and see what we got here. We have a Prismari command and a Wildfire Devils. So
And he's like, oh yeah, I got this nickel bolus.
Here we go. Bob could cascade into Wildfire Devils, Spike, and if he's lucky, hit Sky, and then Sky's Graveyard has the removal spell that will get rid of all those tokens.
Oh, Legions
to Ash. That's what we're live for right now.
That is the next leveliest play possible. Now, whether Bob is able to put that together under extreme duress with cards he may have not played with before is another question. And we'll see what was put down, and then we're going to have – it is going to be Wildfire Devils.
Yep, here we are. Okay, so Wildfire Devils is a very powerful card that a player is chosen at random. Yes, and then that player exiles a card from the graveyard, which Sky will get to choose the card.
Sky will not choose Legion to Ash.
Probably not.
I'm going to tell you right now.
You can tell me. So
I feel pretty
even means one play. Oh, Bob means himself, so he gets to cast an instant or sorcery from his graveyard for free.
This is a Kadama's Reach.
Well, Maelstrom Pulse. How about Maelstrom Pulse?
Maelstrom Pulse is very, very, very good.
How about Maelstrom Pulse? That's kind of like the original Legions to Ashes.
It is the OG.
Yep.
And this guy's like, oh, let me double check here.
C19 Wildfire Devils.
Yeah.
Worked on that one.
It's a powerful card.
Yep. 4/2 for 4. The perfect stat. Okay. So the invading army from the phased out plane is gone. And now
this is going to end the game. Sky can gain 4 life off of that Maze Mind Tome, but we have. Do we have enough? So we have 5, 7, 12, 17.
17
That's
exactly.
that magic number. And Bob Marr is going to take it in round 2. Sky has to. Dejected really.
That was like, I've got 10 2/2s and some other creatures and stuff. You have nothing whatsoever. What's the worst that can happen? Maelstrom Wanderer into Wildfire Devils with another threat into Maelstrom Pulse from my graveyard.
That was the problem.
It was a double Maelstrom play.
Double Maelstrom.
Yeah. Any card with the word Maelstrom in it, Awaken the Maelstrom, Maelstrom Pulse, Maelstrom Archangel, they're all good cards. Maelstrom Nexus.
Heyo.
Maelstrom Confluence, is that one?
No, stop while you're ahead.
What's the land that does it?
Mystic Confluence?
Anyway, Bob Marr defeated Sky Warfield in 3 with a really exciting match. And I believe Bob did what you would consider living the dream there.
Yeah, well, everyone lived the dream. It's just that it's weird because it's like, well, Sky definitely lived their dream.
Yes.
Right? They doubled their tokens, made 10 of them.
Right.
Unfortunately, Bob lived his dream a turn later.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the person that lives their dream last
wins.
Often wins.
Yeah, but you have to survive long enough to be able to live that dream.
And had to, just had to have a lot of things go right, but they did. Man, and had to win the die roll.
That's the dream. That's the most dream you want to live of every match you play is winning the die roll.
That is, it's impressive. Well, we know that Bob is going to be moving on to the finals of our Cheese Standalone, going after that charcuterie board that will no doubt go on his mantle next to his Pro Tour trophies and
his ring,
Hall of Fame ring.
Hall of Fame ring,
right?
His original art, the original Dark Confidant art he has.
This is basically on the same category. Of that.
His dad has one of the Hymn to Turok arts, the one with the wolves. He has that up there. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Is that Susan Van Camp?
Yes. Wow. Him to Turok fan.
I'm a Liz Danforth fan myself.
Yeah, that's the thing about opinions, that they can be incorrect.
Ooh, we got to move on.
We got to move on. Yeah, so anyway, Cheese is pretty good. So we've got one more round to go in the Cheese Standalone tournament here at CubeCon.
Yeah.
The players we're playing for.
We do. Yeah, we don't know who the finalist is. You know what? I'm actually going to try to find out. Hey, Michael, who's the other finalists in the Cheese Standalone? We're going to try to find out. We're going to try to find out what matchup we have. We know that Reed was playing in round 2, playing against Jarvis Yu, and Jarvis told me before the event that he owes Reed one. I don't exactly know what
the context of this.
I didn't ask the context, but I wanted to know. Reed one? Cool. So we're going to have Hall of Famer Reed Duke versus Hall of Famer Bob Marr here at CubeCon playing for an outrageous amount of cheese.
Cheese, yeah. Really the most intense and high-stakes match I'm sure they've ever been involved in.
I mean, cheese.
Cheese.
You can't. None of the other things they've won, they can eat. Okay. At the end of the day,
I mean,
the end of the you need anything if you're brave enough. I get it. At the end of the day, the other things they've won are not safely edible, and they're playing for something that is, and also delicious.
Yeah. So come to CubeCon, play for some cheese, lose to a Hall of Famer. It's just like
this is the quintessential experience.
It's a quintessential experience. I've lost a few Hall of Famers before. It's pretty easy to do.
Well, yeah, I've lost to Reed before. I've never had a chance to play Bob. All right, but thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have round 3, the last round of the Cheese Stands Alone event, and that's going to be coming to you in just a few minutes. Justin Parnell, Dave McDarby. Don't go anywhere. CubeCon 2023.